Buddhism is often framed as a retreat, a quiet exit from the friction of the material world. We associate it with silent meditation, absolute pacifism, and the gentle unfolding of a lotus flower. The standard narrative follows Siddhartha Gautama, a prince who abandoned a palace of solid gold. He chose to sit beneath a Bodhi tree to observe human suffering and detach his mind from the weight of earthly desires. But Siddhartha was born into the militaristic Shakya clan. Their reality was aggressive expansion and armored war elephants. As crown prince, his education was the mechanics of power, statecraft, siege mechanics, and the calculated diplomacy to maintain a throne. Siddhartha didn't just empathize with suffering, he understood the structural forces that created it. By merging his martial training with his psychological insights, he possessed the tools to build a totalizing framework for societal control. In the year 500 BCE, Siddhartha stands at the gates of Kapilavastu. In our timeline, he feels sorrow, but in this alternate path, he looks at his sleeping family and feels a cold, strategic anger at the vulnerability of his kingdom. He accepts that life is suffering, but concludes that the only solution is to enforce absolute, rational order. He returns to the throne room to draft a plan for military expansion, aiming to eliminate human pain by removing the chaos of individual choice. He weaponizes the concept of the middle way. Instead of a path to enlightenment, it becomes a political tool to manipulate and absorb rival kingdoms like Magadha and Kosala, trading their autonomy for state-mandated stability. To stabilize this expansion, he replaces the ancient caste system with a meritocracy of the spirit. Authority is no longer hereditary. It is earned through rigorous testing of an individual's intelligence and psychological stability. These complex brick foundations at Nalanda reveal a scale of urbanization that creates a monolithic superstate. 2 centuries before the historical Emperor Ashoka, this unified Shakya empire establishes a pax indica across the entire subcontinent. By remaining on the throne, Siddhartha hardens Dharma into a rigid, inescapable state law, a moral code enforced with the same precision as his military tactics. When the Greeks reach the Indus, they don't find fragmented tribes. They encounter a monolithic techno-state that has already consolidated the Silk Road into a single, centrally managed economic engine. The philosophical concept of Shunyata, or the void, is applied to mathematics to create a robust system of binary logic. This allows the state to automate complex administrative tasks and quantify every resource in the empire. This logic accelerates metallurgy and thermodynamics, leading to an era of optimized manufacturing by the 10th century. While our timeline was centuries away from the steam engine, this empire uses binary calculation to mass-produce high-precision machinery. While Europe relies on medieval medicine, this society maps the human nervous system with the same precision as their irrigation networks. They apply the laws of cause and effect, karma, to the biology of the brain. The state's only priority is optimization. Every citizen's life is measured against a mathematical ideal of the middle way to ensure maximum efficiency and minimum friction. In this world, technology is not a commodity for profit. It's the mechanism used to enforce the state's rigid definition of reality on every subject. The riverside architecture of Varanasi provides the source code for Neo-Benares, the hub of a global urban network that has replaced traditional nations with a single, optimized grid. From Tokyo to London, every movement in this dense network is governed by a centralized algorithm. It manages supply chains and daily schedules with enough precision to remove the possibility of scarcity. Every citizen is monitored via a real-time karmic status. This system translates biometric data, such as heart rate and neural patterns, into a social credit score that determines an individual's access to the network. Mandatory neuroimplants release chemical regulators to maintain technological dhyana. If an individual's stress levels deviate from the state-mandated average, the system intervenes to force a state of synthetic peace. Massive global resource balancing engines prevent the scarcity that leads to war. Conflict is designed out of the system, When every brain is synchronized and every resource is predicted, the friction of the individual ceases to exist. The state's primary surveillance interface takes the form of a holographic Siddhartha. He looms over the hyperdense cityscape, his eyes continuously processing the data streams that maintain the global order. Siddhartha Gautama succeeded in his mission to end suffering. He achieved nirvana for the masses, but he did so by turning the physical world into a perfectly managed, high-security prison. The next time you close your eyes to meditate, ask yourself what you are seeking. Is it freedom, or are you just following the 2,500-year-old software of a tyrant?